Building gender responsive India. What is the participation of the woman in the Indian loan market? And how many of the SHGs are getting the loan from the financial bank? What is the pattern of mobility in the Indian public space or public mobility, public transport system? Then we have often seen that the seats are reserved for the women and with a specific lining, male, female. Okay, so but we also live in the age where the cisgenders have the equal right, or the transgenders have the equal right. So such kind of part that labeling male and female will certainly have the problem, and it will be problematic to certain other sections. So why and how and what type of public infrastructure should be designed so that India become a more gender responsive society? That is the main part. Why there is this need? Why we are talking about it? Because there was a report by the World Bank that how a toolkit for making India a gender responsive society.
Gender responsive women and also LGBT. Your
Gender includes everything. Not particularly significantly women, everyone. So when we talk about the problems of the gender now, suppose what are the problems of the gender, then we also can write about the issues of the children. Not only male, female or LGBTQ and women, but also children can be part of that. Now, you see that at the beginning of the class, we talked about the labor force participation ratio. And it is low in the urban areas. Why? And how it depends upon the patterns of the mobility. So largely this report was on the gender mobility pattern, but it was dealt in, or it was made in a more comprehensive way, which includes the financial market too. You see that most importantly, with the 22% and the 18% data, you see that male generally travels the longer distance for work. Woman travels the shorter distance. Male uses the private mode of transport and female uses the public mode of transport. Male travels solo. Woman travels in chain traveling. You understand the chain traveling? नहीं? भाई घर से निकले, एक तो पहले ये है कि बच्चों के साथ निकल रहे हैं. First, we will go to the supermarket. Okay. After that, we will go to the hospital. They will go to the hospital. After that, they will carry some work, and after that, they will return home. So there is a pattern of the traveling in the chain way, and largely it is done by the public infrastructure. Even private infrastructures or private transports are not safe. For example, Uber, incidences in Uber. याद आया? Uber is part of gig economy, can be considered as the private mode of transportation, but it is still not safe. And there are frequent incidences of harassing, singing, sometimes touching, significant times touching, when women travels in the public infrastructure or public transport. The methods we have adopted till now is reserving the seat for the women and giving them pink cess. पिंक से समझ आया सबको? No? What Arvind Kejriwal has done? Bus rate free for the women. Okay, so that, you know, a part of that, in place of developing better infrastructure, a kind of cess is imposed upon. Now, so is this kind of this arrangement working or not? And what are the methods that we are supposed to follow to build a better and more gender responsive India? And there are some case studies too. It is completely factual in its approach. So you see, because of the various threat at the public sphere in the urban area, the overall decrease in the labor force participation ratio is found at the urban places. According to one of the data, nearly 65% of the women after repeated violence stops coming out of the home and stops taking the public transport route, and that's why it decreases the, one of the factors that it decreases the labor force participation. So in this context, various methods were proposed that how to make a gender responsive society. Need to redesign the states. Two basic aspects of the urban setup that needs to take into the account to address the issue of gender by city planning, and other is transportation. A design space to